3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653, or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
The MO of this global corporate crime syndicate that's overthrowing every nation on earth is to create a crisis and offer their solution. That's why it's so important to get the film Fall of the Republic, because it details who these people are, what they've done, how they're going to abolish the world currencies or devalue them, and then have this new SDR. I made this film 6 months ago, Fall of the Republic. I made the Obama Deception 14 months ago. These films are evergreen. They're more pertinent today than they ever were. Get them on DVD at Infowars.com. Now, going back to Gerald Celente of the Trends Research Institute. Gerald, I want you to get into the oil spill and where you see that going, and you're comparing it to the Dust Bowl. I think that's an excellent parallel. But first, tell us about the Trends Research Institute, the website, trendsresearch.com, and how people can subscribe to it.
Well, our Trends Journal is a quarterly. We're coming out with the summer edition in just a few weeks. And we have a discount request page as well, because we know people are having a difficult time. So we try to make it available to everyone. And in this upcoming Trends Journal, there'll be a white paper done by Dr. Robert Schoch, the distinguished geologist who's renowned for his work, along with my colleague and executive editor of the Trends Journal, John Anthony West, who's proven geologically that the weathering at the base of the Sphinx is 10,000 years older than currently dated, which means that it predates the Sahara Desert and that we weren't hunters and gatherers when they built this. Well, Dr. Schoch has done a white paper on the oil disaster. And the short of it is that this is not a leaking pipe. This is a fracture. And the damage is going to be far greater than what they're telling us it's going to be. So there's going to be a lot more of that in this paper. So we see this as a disaster that, it can be those kind of things that just keep adding up. If we have, hey, how about building some more nuclear power plants, that Obama's alternative energy plan? Yeah, a couple of more Chernobyls, a couple of more big oil leaks. Oh, let's start a real good war. Shoot off a couple of nukes, and maybe the mystery of the Sphinx won't be a mystery anymore. Civilizations may wipe themselves out because we have the imbeciles in control now that are leading us down that path.
Gerald Celente, what's going to happen to Obama? He now has the lowest approval rating ever. He's topped even his previous record. They know that they have destroyed themselves politically. Every incumbent, whether they be Republican or Democrat, has been losing in the primaries. This is a political realignment that you predicted 4 years ago. Where do you see that going?
A new third party. We're calling it progressive libertarian at this point. Progressive in terms of environmental issues, the things the advertisers you have on your show about foods and heirloom seeds, etc. Environmental progressive in terms of education, not the stupid system we have now. And libertarian in the Ron Paul, Pat Buchanan field of not becoming involved in foreign entanglements, having sleazeballs like Spitzer, the governor of New York, putting laws into place, breaking Johns for going out with prostitutes as he's paying for high-paid ones down in Washington, D.C. Libertarian in a sense as of that, in government getting out of your business. So that's what we see happening. If that party is stopped by the control of the two-headed one-party system, who are the Democrats or Republicans going to put up? So Obama runs. Who are the Republicans going to put up? Hey, how about John McCain again? Or Bonner? Or Shelby? Or Mickey Mouse?
Mitt Romney. And the fainter Petraeus. Gerald Celente, we'll talk to you again later in the month for a full-hour interview. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Trendsresearch.com. Our website's Infowars.com. God bless you. I wish you weren't right, but it's better to know what's going on than to be ignorant in the dark. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
There goes Gerald Celente. We'll be back in 70 seconds with the second hour.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Alex Jones here with urgent information concerning TrendsResearch.com. The Trends Journal distills the voluminous ongoing research of the Trends Research Institute into a concise, readily accessible form. By tracking 300 separately defined domestic and international trends, the Trends Journal establishes the connections that others fail to see or misinterpret. Gerald Celente's Trends Journal allows you to anticipate change, recognize the implications, and take protective strategies. Individual readers from every walk of life can put the Trends Journal Trends Forecast and Trends Analysis to practical use. Extra information to keep you well informed throughout the year when any current event of major social, economic, or political significance occurs. Trends Journal notifies its subscribers of their implications. When you subscribe to the Trends Journal, you'll also receive Trends Alerts. Visit TrendsResearch.com today. That's TrendsResearch.com. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. This information is too important to wait.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We just had Gerald Celente from the Trends Research Institute on for 30 minutes. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Max Kaiser joins us. I want to open the phones up some, but I also want to get back into dollar plunges after UN call to ditch greenback. I've been covering this since CNN and the UN started putting out this propaganda on Tuesday. Now, I know this is old news to our listeners and old news to anybody that's seen Fall of the Republic or Obama Deception or Endgame that I made almost 4 years ago, because it's all stated what they planned, how they would destroy the economy, how they would, you'd still have your currency, but it'll be based on a world government system and backed up by carbon taxes, and above that will be these SDRs. So I'll be discussing that, but I'm going to tell the story after the break. Let's take a call right now. Erica in California, you're on the air. Welcome, Erica.
Hi, Alex. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. Well, I was just calling in response to your request at the beginning of the show about what the 4th of July means to you.
Hoorah.
Because I think it's... Exactly. And, you know, my parents immigrated here from a small country called Latvia, so I'm first generation in the United States, and you know, they waited 5 years in displaced persons camps, you know, to come here legally. My mom's family couldn't even come to the States because they weren't able to get a sponsor.
Wow.
So I grew up, yeah, and she ended up meeting my dad, and, you know, she's here now. But, you know, I grew up with my grandparents telling me all the stories about, you know, what they went through to literally escape Stalin's regime. I had family members who were on the dreaded list and got the knock on the door, and, you know, I had family members who were hiding out in the woods for weeks just to not have to be taken away. So, you know, I grew up with a real appreciation for what my family had gone through to come to this amazing country. And, you know, to be where we are now, you know, arguably one generation later, it's unbelievable to me. I'm the mom of a 5-year-old little girl, and, you know, to see where we are now and to realize, like, wow, you know, my parents were able to escape that to come here, and here we are, and, like, where would we go?
Well, I mean, the saying is those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Humans behave the same, whether it was 5,000 years ago, 100 years ago, or today. There's just a high-tech overlay, and the propaganda is a lot more flowery and fancy. But we know this means bondage. And being a slave is a horrible thing, and living under an oppressive system where all these little nobodies get to rule over you and have their way with your women and your men, and to see your men and your children drug away. I mean, in the history books, the CPS will be known as the Stalin's NKVD of America. And to talk to Eastern Europeans and the hell they went through, and to talk to Germans and people who suffered at the hands of Hitler, we know what black uniforms and black mask and secret arrest and knocks on the door and political police mean 100% of the time. And this is an even more sophisticated evil, and this is a life and death situation. And that's why I really like people who've come from true tyrannies because they value freedom. I mean, if you go back to our forefathers, they had an experience with tyranny, and that's why they were serious and focused. It was the French philosopher Victor Hugo who said that that hard times and tragedy makes men, and plenty and decadence makes monsters.